specifically O'Carroll, and a better job with the ball. 9 St. Louis turnovers, they average 11, very uncharacteristic, so they need to clean up in both of those areas. But credit the Minutemen with doing the job in the defensive glass.
See if UMass can come out with that same defensive intensity they had. Minutemen will have GW, as we mentioned. St. Louis will have St. Bonaventure, and they've got Mason, GW, Chicago, Loyola, so they'll have their home game. First one of the year against GW. Same UMass will be on the road. You've got George Washington, LaSalle, Rhode Island struggling a little bit. VCU, of course, always a factor.
It's a good opportunity for the Minutemen. 3 out of the next 4 games at home. 1 road game at GW.
See if they can have a solid second half here. Right to Conte, who lost it.
Yeah, had to dribble too many times without claiming any space with his footwork.
So the opening here for St. Louis right out of the gates in the second half. Collins gets wide open as his man was screened, and he scores for 6 tonight.
It was easy for Yuri Collins. He started with Matt Cross guarding him, set the ball screen, and he got the switch on the play and just drove it right to the goal against the big man.
So goal number 1, get it to within single digits, achieved here for St. Louis.
Again, Jay, it's an experienced team. The guys in white, they've been through these situations before.
And Fernandez will draw the foul. He was able to escape the grasp. It wasn't easy to get the ball to Fernandez, and he draws the foul.
Just a good job by Noah, staying aggressive with the ball, being strong with the basketball. Collins is a great defender. I think one of the things we do is we talk so much about Yuri Collins and all the things that he does on the offense. He's a physical defender. He's quick to steal it. He's got deflection hands. And he's got good stamina when he guards the ball. So for Noah Fernandez, this is a huge challenge at both ends of the court. As you alluded to earlier in the broadcast, Jay, just a wonderful matchup to observe. 2 of the best point guards in the Atlantic 10.
Fernandez hits them both. He's up to 11. That was the second foul on Yuri Collins. He'll launch it up ahead to Perkins, and Perkins with his first bucket tonight.
It happens every time. If you're running slow, Collins is so good looking down the floor. His teammates just run, he gets it to him.
Fernandez now trying to get that 3rd foul on Yuri Collins, and he muscles it up.
And muscle is the right word.
Got to be careful there. Had a little stare down for Collins and was teed up against St. Bonaventure. We've got a moving screen on Okoro. That's what freed up Yuri. Second foul on Francis Okoro.
Another turnover for the Billikens in a ball screen situation. But look, his eyes are up right away seeing the court. And if you're a defender that's slow getting back, they'll outrun you every time.
And you wonder for St. Louis, does that get Perkins moving here? And a foul. Weeks a little out of control, ran into Jimerson. Second foul on Gibson Jimerson, the product out of Richmond, Virginia. And you say, hey, if you're VCU or University of Richmond, how did you let that guy get out of the River City?
Already graduated. I think he's got 2 more years of eligibility with the COVID year. 1,000-point scorer as well.
Conte looking for some space. Well defended by Okoro.
Same thing as we saw that earlier possession. Probably too many dribbles needed to get to where he wanted to get the shot release.
On the roll to Okoro. Had a couple of dunks in the first half. Hargrove launches the 3.
That time they made the rotation, the second rotation. Unfortunately, it had to come from Brandon Martin, and then he couldn't close out quick enough to the perimeter.
That's 7 for Terrence Hargrove. He averages 4 per game. Again, thrust into the starting lineup tonight. Cross takes a quick 3. Back rim, no. Long rebound. Kept alive, and Weeks there to secure it. Martin trying to get around Okoro. Such a big body, and UMass can't save it. The job that Okoro is doing down in the paint here defensively.
As we talked about, that's what he does. You want rim protection? Yeah, he'll do it for you. His rebounding is a special thing, and great hustle by Brandon. But Okoro found his stride last year after transferring from Oregon. Second in the A-10 right now in rebounding, 4th in block shots. And the best offensive rebound in the league at 3.7. Just can't find it right now.
Billikens trying to create a little momentum here. Collins has it knocked away from behind, and a late whistle coming as Yuri got right to the bucket.
This is where we might see more scoring looks by Collins. Obviously, with Pickett out of the lineup, that's significant. That's a lot of scoring there. Perkins not scoring at his normal pace, only 2 points in this game, and Collins taking it on himself to make some things happen. That they're on a nice cut.
That foul on Isaac Conte, his second. Collins to the free throw line is 2 for 2 on the day, 77% free throw shooter, and he makes the first one. See Travis Ford. Also on the bench with him, Will Bailey, who he plucked away from here at Massachusetts, who came with Frank Martin from South Carolina. Bailey's departure led to Derek Kellogg's re-arrival. Martin had a lane. Spinning in the paint, and Brandon Martin finishes.
That's a good job by Brandon Martin, coming to a jump stop rather than going off of 1 foot and giving an opportunity for someone to challenge the shot. Did a good job staying under control, finding a nice finish.
Good move from Jimerson Hargrove there at the rim.
Again, a good roll is right, Jay. The second rotation was too late.
Weeks on the other side, missed it all. An opening here for St. Louis.
Look at that vision.
Jimerson for the momentum three. It's off the mark, and we've got a rebound for Brandon Martin. It looked like Okoro came right over on top of him. Martin will pop the three.
You know, he saw that at Bonaventure. His defenders giving him a cushion to look at the rim.
Now 0 for 3 from long distance. The lead to 7. Collins in the corner. Perkins for the triple. That's no good. Perkins, 34% three-point shooter. Cross forced a little bit.
Frustration right there. Got a good open look at the goal.
Another turnover for St. Bonaventure.
You know, Yuri Collins just frustrated there. He's getting guys running, but that time we're not quite looking for the ball. And they're not generating the easy baskets, the Bulkins, that they normally do. And he's frustrated number 33, Matt Cross, right there, takes his seat. 2 for 8 from the field right now for Matt Cross.
Ten turnovers now for St. Louis. Here's good news. Fred Thatch Jr. has returned to the game.
Oh, that is really good news. It's great to see. Oh, yeah.
Here he is, and he immediately gets contact from Gapare, draws an offensive foul. You said the word glue guy, and boy is he ever. Gapare picks up his third. It'll be Billiken's ball upon our return. 15:52 to go here in Western Mass.
It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
Take a picture.
I'm stuck! It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but
it's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options, to never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
With the Venture X card from Capital One, you earn 2 times miles on every purchase.
The noise canceling.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history.
With the Venture X card from Capital One, you earn 2 times miles on every purchase.
The noise canceling.
The game has never been better.
Kentucky, number 7 Alabama, Saturday at 1 on ESPN.
Let's take a quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard. A-10 action across the board. Little surprise here. Duquesne, who had a very good non-conference schedule, taking down VCU right now. Rams have been getting out to some slow starts. Dayton taking care of business against St. Joseph's. The Bonnies continuing their tear over Mason. Davidson looking good against the newcomer Loyola Chicago. And Fordham trailing Rhode Island as the Rhody Rams try to pick up the pieces after a disappointing non-conference slate. Here's St. Louis with the basketball. UMass has the 7-point advantage. Minutemen led at 11 during halftime.
Billikens now 4 for 6 from the field, 66% in the second half.
And UMass one of their last 7 from the floor. This will stay St. Louis basketball.
Good disruptive hands by the Minutemen. Got the deflection as Collins tried to deliver the pass on the roll. Minutemen come to their zone on the baseline out of bounds play.
Top of the key, 3 is good. Parker with the triple.
We talked about Parker getting his rhythm. I think that's only his 3rd 3 on the year, but he was a big-time scorer in junior college. So maybe his opportunity night for the young kid.
Now 3 of 24 from beyond the arc. Luis with a little rhythm. Doesn't get the touch, and Okoro there for the rebound. Feels like things are starting to slant in favor of the Billikens. And unfortunately, Thatch is down again. Came back after suffering what appeared to be a knee injury. And once again, holding that left knee. You admire his toughness, trying to stick it out, but maybe in a situation like this, better off taking a load off for a little bit.
It's an experienced player just trying to play through something maybe he should not have. I'm sure.
That just gives you an idea of how much the desire is for Thatch to be out there.
And like I said, this is a team with high expectations. These players want to do this season for the Billikens.
Jimerson corner 3, that's no good. And Fernandez with the rebound and running.
It's that quick shoot, catch and shoot.
Gapare gets bumped by Collins, and that'll be the 3rd foul on Yuri Collins. He did take away that rhythm 3 from Gapare on the other end. That comes at a price for St. Louis with still about 15 minutes left in this game. And SLU not really equipped outside of Collins in terms of the backup point guard position. Into the post, Dominguez, who picked up a couple of fouls in that first half. Turnaround for DeAndre Dominguez doesn't go, and Jimerson there with the board.
Had the size advantage.
Parker again will catch and shoot, and he hits once more.
Yeah, sees the opportunity. You see the experience Collins knew, I'm going to get him the ball. Throws it diagonally across court.
He's got 8, and the lead down to 1 for UMass. Gapare with the response on the 3. Chuching, he cashes in.
Good catch and shoot rhythm against the lengthy closeout of Jimerson. Confident freshman.
That ends an 8-0 run for St. Louis. Collins able to maintain possession as we reach the 14-minute mark.
Minutemen forcing Cutters to back cut as Okoro tried to go for the handoff.
Parker right into Dominguez, and an offensive foul drawn. This time DeAndre gets the call.
DeAndre really understanding the responsibility of being a help side defender, rotating across and being outside the restricted area and establishing legal guarding position. Excellent job.
First foul on Sincere Parker, who's been the breath of fresh air for St. Louis. Couple of the big 3s, matching his season total. Fernandez on the drive, has it poked away. Jimerson. Down low to Hargrove. Hargrove, no chance. Not over that guy right there, number 2.
Well, you had Dominguez and Gapari both.
Corner three. Indeed.
Now, he wasn't sure. He had plenty of time. RJ buries the corner three.
And a timeout needed by Travis Ford. RJ Luis here to serve. Second triple of the night.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
Take a picture.
I'm stuck!
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
I'm Mika. My daughter was just diagnosed with PDVS. Can we talk?
Absolutely.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
Take a picture.
I'm stuck!
T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but
Got a dog.
Alex Ovechkin.
Everybody's working for the weekend. Everybody's working for the weekend.
Capitals Blue Jackets tomorrow on ESPN.
UMass on a 6-0 run. Let's remind you once again the watch party for the next UMass game as the Minutemen will be on the road at George Washington this Saturday, the 7th at 2 p.m. The place to be, Tap Sports Bar, located in the MGM Springfield Casino. 15% off all food and non-alcoholic beverages during the game for fans wearing UMass gear. You got the back lounge area near the bowling alleys. UMass fans will have the game on, sound up. And hopefully for the Minutemen, what could be back-to-back W's. Still, of course, a long way to go here. St. Louis had made it a one-point contest on a few threes from Sincere Parker. Zapari and Luis returning serve for the Minutemen. 13:07 to go. Here's Perkins, left side of the lane, and gets a whistle. Went a long way.
Yeah.
On just 2 steps.
I think it's a hard one to explain to that guy. I'll tell you. It looked like it was solid defense. Did he have a pivot foot or more than one pivot foot?
Don't forget about the old gather step, which is all the rage these days. That foul on Brandon Martin is first. Just because it looks the part, doesn't mean it is. Perkins, 80% free throw shooter. Was held to 2 points in the win against St. Joseph's on Saturday. 83-78 win for the Billikens. That is his 3rd point tonight.
5 threes in that game as he inches his way to 1,000 points. Perkins.
Yeah, needed 28 entering today. So my math stands correct. 25 more. Here's Dominguez on a hard take. Fernandez launches the 3. It's good.
Beautiful pass. Timed just right. Fernandez with a beautiful catch and shoot.
In the blink of an eye, UMass growing the lead. Back into double figures. Mid-range off the mark. Fernandez on the go. Tries to step around Larry Hughes Jr., who's already taken 1 nasty charge today, and this time he's dinged for the foul.
Good aggressive push of the ball by Fernandez. This is a good situation for the Minutemen. 6th foul. It appears they'll be in the bonus by the next immediate timeout, which is always that goal in the second half. Get to that first bonus by that 12-minute mark.
Well, Fernandez was just 2 of 7 from the free throw line. In the last game, he had off-season wrist surgery and then dealt with the ankle issue. But still remains one of the premier guards in the A-10. He hits.
He's certainly frustrated in the last game. The technical foul that he got, I think, was frustration that it happened. And unsettled by the loss up there as well as really leading this team. And that's what they missed with his injury. Not just his scoring and his distribution, but his leadership. I think Coach Martin has been trying to identify leaders on this team, and certainly Noah is the first one to stand up and volunteer for that.
18 for Fernandez. 57-46.
Same thing, Jay. 3 freshmen on the floor for the Minutemen.
Parker's had a great game. Out to Collins again, playing with 3 fouls. Yuri penetrates, draws the whistle, and he gets the bucket.
It's an experienced offensive player who knows how to play off the dribble. Going at a freshman and sophomore and being aggressive in terms of trying to find an opening and continuing to get himself to the line.
That spells an 11-1 run on the UMass side. Collins up to 9 points. You know, you look at who Thompson's had to guard. You go to that North Texas team where they had experience abound, and now Yuri Collins. You grow up quick.
Oh, and he's strong. He's physical. He came with a ready body to play at this level.
Luis trying to squeeze his way through. Tough shot, doesn't go, and the rebound yanked down by Larry Hughes Jr.
Got him in a good position. R.J. Luis just needed that left hand to finish.
Some of these passes, Collins almost has too much on it.
Yeah.
Perkins open for 3. Forrester, offensive rebound, and foul coming on the weak side on R.J. Luis. Offensive board for St. Louis. Billikens with the ball, down by 8.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
Take a picture.
I'm stuck!
Take a picture.
I'm stuck!
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
Take a picture.
I'm stuck!
T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
I'm Mika. My daughter was just diagnosed with KDVS. Can we talk?
absolutely.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
I'm Mika. My daughter was just diagnosed with KDVS. Can we talk?
Absolutely. T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but
Capitals Blue Jackets tomorrow on ESPN.
Kentucky, number 7 Alabama, Saturday at 1 on ESPN. You gotta be kidding me!
We talk about this guy, Yuri Collins, and you say, what's the big deal about all these assists? Well, this is where he is amongst A-10 legends. Gilliard from Richmond, who was able to play 7-8 seasons. Jameer Nelson, Tyson Wheeler, Rhode Island's Prodigal son, Jazz Williams, Pepe Sanchez, great for Temple in the late 90s. Chris Lowe. That's some pretty impressive company to be a part of.
Star-studded. They all went on to play professionally. There are 3 scouts here, NBA guys tonight. A couple of those guys, Jameer in the NBA, Tyson made it to the Raptors. Pepe Sanchez played in the NBA as well.
Another 3 rattles home for Sincere Parker, his 3rd tonight.
Certainly taking advantage of his opportunity. Sophomore from Rockford, Illinois.
2 threes entering today. Thompson looking for his first as a collegiate player, and he buries it.
Well, he wasn't sure, but he was confident enough that there was space, there was time. Something we don't expect from him, a lot of three-point volume shooting.
He had been 0 for 9 from beyond the arc prior to that one. Comes at a great time. Collins gets to the basket.
Collins going to try to will this game forward for the Billikens.
On the take, Brandon Martin. No. Perkins has it swiped away. So does Luis. And the man of the hour, Sincere Parker, there to secure it. Just pull up and shoot another one. Why not? Collins gets it away down low to Forrester. Good dig down.
Yeah, good rotation. Forrester set up well.
Kapare was not ready for that fastball from Dominguez.
It's one of the things we see from the Minutemen from time to time. People rebounding the ball and being their own outlet and just pushing it up. Sometimes it's hard to discern how the pass is coming, but a beautiful shot by the freshman. As he continues to be tough, aggressive. Collins giving him that shot. Keon willing to take it.
Keon at 17 minutes a game, about 5 points per contest. Tonight he's got 7 for the Minutemen. Halfway through the second half, Fernandez has checked back in, trailing around Collins all night long to Forrester, and a lot of contact on Conte's part. He gets hit with his 3rd foul, and keep in mind there's no Wildens Levesque to battle Okoro or Forrester down low.
Not sure there was a lot of contact on that play. Forrester set up nicely in front of the rim. Some confusion here. Minutemen squared away.
Perkins catch and shoot 3. That's off the back rim, cross. To Dominguez, up and under for DeAndre Dominguez.
There's those rim scores that he's so good at. Goes to the other side, long arms, tough to challenge that shot.
4 points so far for Dominguez, but he's contributed in many ways tonight. Collins.
Well, he's determined. Yuri Collins. It's going to be interesting.
Last 14.
Last 9 minutes here to see Collins and Fernandez both try to will their teams forward.
Dominguez again with that high field goal percentage.
Yeah.
Here's the question. Can the Billikens win when it's just Yuri Collins that has to score?
Well, he can do that. I mean, he's uncomfortable doing it. It's a good roll by Forrester.
And he has it altered by Luis, but fights through it and finishes and draws the foul.
And when he does have the ball so much looking to score, it's incumbent that other players make plays. This one just a cut, a slip by Forrester to the rim. Gets the and one situation.
It's the fourth foul on DeAndre Dominguez.
Certainly, Jay, they do need some Jimerson contributions from behind the three-point line. He's 1 for 6 right now. Perkins 0 for 4 from behind the three-point line. And as you've talked about a couple times, Sincere Parker being the man with 3 makes from behind that line.
You've got 4 fouls on the UMass side on Dominguez, who's kind of the fill-in big, and Conte playing with 3 fouls.
Again, just going high ball screen for Noah against Yuri. Good help by Forrester.
Bump from behind, and that's going to be on Collins' 4th foul.
You know, I talked about his active hands and his ball stamina, but he's going to have to take them out at this point. Sometimes those quick hands can get you into trouble.
That's what we see from Fernandez on the UMass side a lot of times. Gets hit with a couple of fouls early, and then you got to manage these minutes. Collins takes a seat. He's played 30 minutes so far.
Yeah, and this is where you need, unfortunately, sitting at the end of the bench with the ice pack, Fred Thatch. You need him right now for this ball handling duty.
So 17th foul, first end of the 1-and-1 for Fernandez, who's all of a sudden turned it on from the foul line.
I'd be surprised to see the Minutemen move up the court their pickup points now on a made free throw. Maybe even some zone press to challenge the ball handling of the Billikens.
.20 today for Fernandez. Second time this year he's reached that milestone. The 9th time over the past 2 seasons. 8 of 8 from the free throw line. So what will the St. Louis team look like without Yuri Collins? It'll be Hughes Jr. for 3.
Oh my, talk about confidence. Freshman brought the ball up, Larry Hughes Jr., and very confident on that shot.
Second one of those tonight for Larry Hughes Jr. makes it a 4-point game. And a whistle off the ball will be on Forrester.
Yeah, it appears these officials are intent on cleaning up. See Coach Martin having a discussion about it, cleaning up the low post setup and the low post defense before it goes any further.
1-and-1 here for Isaac Conte, 1 of 2 today. Conte came over from LIU Brooklyn. Before that, Hofstra. Great touch for a big man.
Oh, absolutely. You know, 1 year at Hofstra, he actually averaged a double-double for the entire season. I think his second year at Hofstra.
He's an all-CAA second-team player. Has fit in nicely here at UMass. Our player to watch today, Conte, for the Minutemen, gives UMass a 68-62 lead. Fernandez just lost his footing. He'll pick up his first foul, believe it or not, on Noah Fernandez.
Pretty sophisticated move by Hughes Jr. That snake dribble where you get past the defender and you snake in front of him. And you get that push from behind.
Larry Hughes Jr., as I mentioned earlier, his father, 1 year at St. Louis. Monster season, #1 pick for the Sixers. Back in the late 90s, missed it. Kept alive by Hargrove, but it's out of bounds on St. Louis. Like Hargrove got tangled up with a teammate and couldn't secure it, and that'll make it Massachusetts basketball. We're under 8 minutes to go. It's a good one brewing here in Amherst.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you.
Take a picture.
I'm stuck! Is that a new iPhone?
Yep, I just...
T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but
it's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you.
T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but
it's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you.
I'm Mika. My daughter was just diagnosed with KDVS. Can we talk?
Absolutely.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you.
Take a picture.
I'm stuck! Is that a new iPhone?
Yep, I just...
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you.
Take a picture.
I'm stuck!
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you.
This is the last chapter. There were 2 teams left. Georgia out to defend their throne.
Alex Ovechkin.
The final chapter. Can the Horned Frogs secure this?
Good job job to prevent second chance points tonight.
Minutemen have done an excellent job. That's, you know, offensive rebounds, a 50-50 ball. Minutemen are getting a percentage, 34% of the opportunities for rebounds on their offensive glass, which is high. 30 is usually a pretty good goal. The best teams in the country, like Purdue and Tennessee, are getting 38, 39%. So the Minutemen at 34 is commendable. URI just ahead of them in the Atlantic 10 at about 35, but Cross has been so active. Doesn't take no for an answer if he's blocked out. He'll just keep going.
One other number that I think skews in favor of UMass tonight is the lack of turnovers. 8 turnovers for the Minutemen. And they're in some of their losses, they're in the 20s.
Yeah, and they're in a good situation now. This is a team, St. Louis, that doesn't force turnovers, doesn't steal the ball. In fact, they're 15th in the Atlantic 10 in terms of turnovers forced. So don't know that they have a pressing defense. Don't know if they're going to shoot the gap too much. The Minutemen just need to be solid with the basketball like that.
You think UMass needs to take advantage of Collins not being out there, and Cross just missed the turnaround.
Boy, it was a beautiful, soft left hand by Cross.
Frustrating today for Matt Cross, 2 of 9 from the floor. Opening here for Larry Hughes and the St. Louis offense.
Hughes, 12 minutes already. This is a guy averaging 5 minutes a game.
Parker finally missed one.
Parker, too. More minutes than he's had all season in one game.
To Conte from Luis. Missed the bunny.
Beautiful read by RJ with the bounce pass.
Forrester had nobody on him down low. I don't think he recognized. Turnaround for him using the glass.
But he took his time, got to his left shoulder, used the board nicely as you described, Jay.
9 points for Jake Forrester. Looks at a 4-point game. And UMass led by as many as 11 at the half.
This is a good matchup for Noah Fernandez. He's to get past him.
Cross trying to get to the bucket, and this time Cross doesn't miss.
Boy, that was beautiful. Just a nice rip off the catch. Transferred the ball across his body, got to his left hand. That's some offensive skill right there, Matt Cross.
And the feed from Fernandez, 5 assists today for Noah. Hughes Jr. off the mark, and Gapare for the rebound. St. Louis hasn't taken bad 3-point shots tonight.
Not at all.
Conte goes to work, and Conte will use the glass in response.
Did a beautiful job setting up for the feed. And then had Thatch on his back. See Thatch just on his back. No answers right there. Muscle, power, determination from the big kid from Brooklyn.
Third foul on Forrester sends Conte to the free throw line. And at what point, if you're St. Louis, do you bring back in 4-fouled Yuri Collins?
Yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes coaches wait for a 5-minute mark. I don't think he'll wait for the 4-minute media timeout.
Conte completes the 3-point play. He's got 11 points tonight. Perkins to bring up the ball. Greeted by Gapare. Gets a look at the rim, and he lays it in over Gapare.
That's just something Gapare hasn't seen. A guy with that kind of ability to go off the dribble. How about that?
Gapare on the other end draws the foul. It's twice tonight UMass has gone for that highlight reel dunk. They'll take the foul on Okoro.
You know, we use the word dynamic when we talk about him, and certainly that's it right there. His presence continues to be a work in progress, but he just shows these flashes of his ability to impact the game as a scorer. This has been an adjustment. As he said in an interview this week, I've been living out of a suitcase for about 2 years.
Go all the way home to New Zealand for the holiday, which isn't a quick vacation. There's a long vacation when you're taking a day on each side to travel.
Yeah.
4 points tonight for the freshman Gapare.
But great raves from the coaching staff and from his teammates in terms of what kind of guy he is, what kind of expectations he has, willingness to work, willingness to listen, and a humility about understanding that he knows he has to learn some things.
1 out of 2, and can't handle the offensive board, but it's poked away.
Noah with the quick hands.
Like Matt Cross was first to punch that one in the air.
Coach Martin just going to go with a high ball screen. Fernandez and
step back. Fernandez.
Oh. Minutemen were intent in what they wanted to do. We got Conte with Noah Fernandez, just beats his man, creates advantage, rather than going all the way to the rim, just does a nice pull-up.
22 for Fernandez. And then there was a whistle after the make. And that's the 10th team foul on St. Louis.
It's going to hurt the Billikens right now with 5 to go.
It's on Okoro, 4th foul. This feels devastating for St. Louis. Fernandez with a jumper with Perkins in his face. And Isaac Conte up to 11 points. Fernandez matching his season high. He had 22 in the game against Colorado.
Minutemen capitalizing at the free throw line tonight. 15 out of 18. That's 83% so far.
It's just a 2-possession game moments ago. Conte takes 1 out of 2. UMass back up by 11. 5.5 to play. Second A-10 game of the year for both these teams. St. Louis 1-0, UMass 0-1. Forrester draws the foul. That's 4 on Conte. Well, gonna be interesting as some key players are starting to get into foul trouble here, Frank.
Absolutely, and it doesn't appear anybody's going to try to go zone. Defense, both are content with sticking with a man-to-man.
Forrester, a 77% free throw shooter, averaged almost 6 points and 4 rebounds per game last year with Temple in 12 starts. No luck on the first one.
What we've seen tonight is rolling and rebounding, things in tight. He's got these quick hands, Jack Forrester, and a nice catching ability too.
So 4 fouls on Conte, he departs. 4 fouls on DeAndre Dominguez, he comes back in. And then 3 on your next big for UMass, Tafara Gapare. With 5:19 to go, 1 out of 2 for Forrester. Not a bad day for him, 10 points. And that's the lead for UMass. Another big day for Fernandez. Dominguez will try a 3.
Coach Martin just sticking with a simple formula. Put 2 guys in the middle third of the court, go ball screen and pop. If the defender helps out to the dribbler, pop the offensive player. That was Dre Dominguez with the 3.
Largest lead of the day for Massachusetts. And Dominguez has just fouled out after hitting what feels like a momentum grasping 3. He'll end with 9 points and 2 rebounds.
Destroys his defender, ball screen and pop, perfect shot. Gets to the other end and just can't keep his hands out of the play.
How about this for Dominguez tonight? 4 of 5 from the floor.
Efficiency.
Yep. 1 of 1 from 3-point range.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perkins at the line, 5 points tonight. Misses on the first side. And Gapare tries to save it, but cannot. Off the backside of the backboard there. And you're going to see Yuri Collins come in down 13, playing with 4 fouls.
This is really a good job by Gapare. Just shows his ability to get to balls and the length of those arms.
So Yuri Collins back in there. They need something from Jimerson.
Minutemen sticking man-to-man in the out-of-bounds play after usually going to some zone.
Parker's been the go-to tonight. 13 points for him and a career high.
Billikens try to get a little bit out of this 1-3-1 extended. You can see the length in their arms. Minutemen content to pass it on the perimeter and drive the gaps.
Luis in on Collins. Looking for space. Out to Gapare. Corner 3. Around and out. Good look. Launched up ahead to Forrester. And somehow he saves it back to
somehow.
Parker. Parker will take another 3.
Oh
Off the mark, kept alive by Hargrove.
Good block out by Cross. Hargrove just really doing an exceptional job there.
And there's Parker adding to his career night, 15 and counting.
Boy, simple basketball when you got a guy like Collins with the ball. Just cut to the rim if your man loses vision.
Under 4 to go in this one.
Long extended arms here.
We're down to the final 5 of the half, presented by Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine. Together we'll write your comeback story. Luis misses the 3. Cross with the offensive board. He can't put it back. Martin on a 3rd effort. And UMass will reset here under 3:30 to go.
Martin and Cross showing their determination to get to the 50-50s. And that guy showing his determination to be a scorer down the stretch.
Season high for Fernandez, 25. Could that be enough for Massachusetts? Collins to the corner. Jimerson for 3, and he gets it. Second bucket of the night for Gibson Jimerson. And that takes away a little bit of the momentum as the Minutemen will have an 11-point lead in the final 3:07. Fernandez leading the way.
It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but
it's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have. It's good to have options. To never feel stuck with more or less than you have.
Stars from around the globe reunite in Saudi Arabia. Capitals Blue Jackets tomorrow on ESPN.
Well, if you haven't done this already, make sure you do. Basketball fans, join the UMass Store Rewards program. Create your free account so that you can earn points for buying UMass gear and engaging with the UMass Store on their social media accounts. Watch taking a game at the Hangar Pub and Grill, the official game day hangout of Massachusetts Athletics. 3:07 to go. Gibson Jimerson, who's been nullified tonight.
Yeah, 13 points a game, 13.4 coming in, only 6 in this ball game. This is one of 2 double-figure scorers, Perkins being the other.
He had 31 last year against UMass, a career high. Is only 2 of 10 from the floor today. Luis patient in the paint and gets the roll. Double figures for the freshman. UMass can feel this one now. Jimerson moves right, takes the triple. Kept alive by Okoro, and Tafara Gapare there to swat it into the arms of Fernandez.
This is where you don't know if the Billikens have the kind of trapping defense that can generate turnovers. Minutemen are going to keep it in Noah Fernandez's hands as much as possible.
I think what was interesting in the early part of this game, it was a track meet, and UMass won that race. Cross turns baseline and had it go halfway down. I think it also was blocked by Okoro.
Sure was.
Jimerson got to hit one of these.
Good close up by Luis. Got to Jimerson quickly, right at his feet.
Collins on the go. Collins has his pass deflected. Fernandez first to get there. Parker. Collins gives it up to Okoro, and he finishes. 8 points for Francis Okoro, who'll head to the free throw line. And now you're in trouble if you're UMass. That is 5 on Conte, I believe.
Probably one where he should have just rotated and gone vertical and just challenged the difficulty of the shot.
So Conte out, Dominguez out with 5 fouls each, and Levesque unavailable today.
This is where Brandon Martin and Matt Cross, the most experienced guys in the front court, got a lead. Gapari, young freshman Gapari and Luis on the wings. Martin responds with the defensive board.
1:48 to play. UMass can hang on. That'll be a 1-1 start to conference play.
And certainly a good comeback after the disappointment of Saturday's game at Bonaventure.
There's Gapare, who draws the foul. And we'll head to the free throw line. Kellen Thames has checked into the game for the first time tonight. And a freshman for this promising young core of Billikens.
Minutemen doing a good job, Jay, with ball security. Only 8 turnovers tonight.
That's the number for me. And also, there was a point there where St. Louis got it to within 5. I think it was down to 1 early on in the second half, and then it was Gapare for a 3, and then R.J. Luis hit a 3.
This is coming off a game where Bonaventure had 11 steals in that game. That helped fuel them certainly in that game the other day, Saturday.
Six points tonight for Gapare, but he's been so much more.
Yeah. I think if you're the Minutemen, you didn't come in thinking you'd try to score 90 points against the Billikens.
Parker's been the bright spot for St. Louis tonight. Tries to go over Gapare, and that just might do it here for UMass.
Shows you how well Gapare can challenge people.
Yeah, we need a stat in the box score for altered shots with your length. Final minute. Gapare hunting. Collides with Collins. They'll just let this one play on. Now Cross in the paint. Cross will leave it short.
Continues to be frustrated, but he's getting places, just not finishing.
On deck for Massachusetts, GW. Okoro will go back to the line. Brandon Martin picks up his second foul. This really would have been an opportunity for St. Louis. They're thinking, hey, if you can start 2-0, get a win on the road. A timeout here will have Okoro to the free throw line. But for UMass, this was one you kind of had to have.
Oh, absolutely, especially after the devastation up at Bonaventure. But I think if you're going into the season, Jay, if you looked at the two teams on paper and you said who's going to be the first one to 10 wins on the season, you certainly wouldn't have picked UMass. You would have thought more about St. Louis with all the experience coming back, the high expectations. Coach Martin has got these guys to 10 wins.
I think the way you phrased it earlier is the most interesting thing here, Frank, where the first to 90, like how can this team, especially one that only scored 64 at St. Bonaventure, struggled against Dartmouth, only scored 44 against North Texas, now busts out for 87. Of course, Fernandez having a big day, 7 of 9 from the floor, but now 3 guys in double figures.
Yeah, and again, we'll point to those turnovers as being a significant part of that. They kept their turnovers less than 10, only 8. Got some people that really handled the ball nicely. You got 17 assists and 8 turnovers. That's a wonderful ratio for any team. It's a winning ratio in any game. So they didn't shoot themselves in the foot. Like we talk about the 11 steals at Bonaventure, that fueled offense for their opponent. Minutemen much more disciplined tonight. That's what Coach Martin had talked about post-game. We talked about at Bonaventure how to win, saying the team lacked the discipline at certain critical points to get over the hump, and they showed discipline tonight for sure.
For St. Louis, you're saying, okay, what's the future of Fred Thatch Jr. going to be? The good news was he came back out after what appeared to be a knee injury, but then went down with a similar injury and left the game permanently here in the second half. They played today without the senior Javon Pickett. He's under the weather. Trapped was Gapare, and he'll send it out. Stolen by the Billikens and Thames. Thames wasn't ready for that fastball pass from Collins, but gets the foul. 2 free throws forthcoming here for Thames.
For St. Louis, this is the 3rd loss in the last 5 ball games. The wins over Drake and the win over St. Joe, but lost to Edwardsville, lost to Boise, and taking a defeat tonight. So a little bit of a slump as they go home to 2 home games this week.
They're on the verge of losing 3 out of the last 4 in this building.
They'll have Bonaventure at home this Saturday, and Mason, who's playing very well, at home on Wednesday.
A-10 wide open. VCU lost tonight to Duquesne. St. Bonaventure improving to 2-0 with their win over George Mason. Lead is 8 with 24.5. Pressure dialed up, and Gapare maybe got aided there on a foul for Okoro, which will send him out of the game. 5th foul on Francis Okoro. See the conference scoreboard here. Rhode Island ram on ram action. Rhodey with a big win over Fordham. Had a surprise run in the non-conference slate. St. Joseph's just struggling down on Hawk Hill. Tough matchup tonight against Dayton.
Well, certainly St. Joe Hawks had every opportunity to beat St. Louis the other day. St. Louis really had to hold them off down the stretch.
Good news for UMass here is Gapare starting to dial it in from the free throw line now. 4 of 5 tonight.
Minutes just keep increasing. He's above 20 tonight, 23 minutes right now. We saw his ability to block shots with 4 of them, 2 steals, having an impact on the defensive end. 5 rebounds.
Yep. 8 points in this one. And how about add a block to that?
Look at that.
16 seconds left. Gapare will get fouled by Parker, and that should just about all do it. Travis Ford just got teed up. Welcome home.
Well, he was well out of the coach's box. You can see him right now. That's the distance. He's almost at midcourt.
Not the frustration for Travis Ford. As I mentioned, his time at Oklahoma State, 5 NCAA tournament appearances in 8 years. SLU made the NIT the past 2 years. An NCAA tournament once, should have been twice. They were 23-8 during the COVID season, but this year not shaping up the way they were hoping it.
Now 26 years as a head coach. How about never was an assistant coach? One of the few men that get to coach at this level and not having to be an assistant. John Beeline being another one.
You don't just get to jump right to the head of the table,
that
Coach?
Doesn't happen. Well, sometimes it does.
Frank Martin was telling me earlier that he was an assistant coach in high school, played against Coach Ford when he was a player.
Oh, really? Kentucky high school basketball?
Okay. He didn't specify the whereabouts.
Sometimes Coach reminds us all how long he's been around. We know he's been around the block. He'll every now and then say things you'll be like, what?
Very experienced on both ends.
Oh, yeah.
Probably what has become here for the A-10 a lot of great college coaches. The influx of a few this offseason. Go through some of the wins this year for the Minutemen. Last time they scored 90. The only time they put up 94 against Central Connecticut State. Gapare misses them both. Final 10 seconds of this one. And Collins with 2, but it's too little too late. The Minutemen will get their 10th win of the year. And they'll send their former head coach, Travis Ford, packing back to St. Louis with the W. SLU falls to 9-6.
I don't know if Noah Fernandez has taken that game ball on his own, but he certainly deserves the game ball tonight. 26 points, 9 for 10 at the line in 32 minutes, 7 assists.
Win number 298 for head coach Frank Martin for the Minutemen in his first in Atlantic 10 action. Frank, as always, it's been a pleasure, my friend.